What is up, you guys? Today, this guy right here? This guy? His name's Fanta. You want to say hi, Fanta? Hello. So, as you can see, I just came out of seeing Avatar Fire and Ash. I don't think I'm going to be able to have Fanta on my shoulder this whole time. Um, but this thing is really cool, and I just wanted to show it off. So, yes, I just came out of seeing Avatar Fire and Ash. I'm going to keep this a spoiler-free review for you guys. But, man, oh man. Let's just get into the video. Avatar is one of my favorite franchises. I just love it. I grew up loving the first Avatar movie. It was always a visual spectacular. Got a ton of merch for Avatar. As a Disney lover, like Disney Parks lover, Animal Kingdom, Pandora is one of my favorite parts of just Disney World in general. It's so realistic, and whenever I go to Animal Kingdom in my vlogs, I always make sure to make Pandora a priority and like Avatar Flight of Passage a priority. And just seeing Avatar in theaters, the first movie, when it got re-released, the Way of Water being one of my favorite movies of the decade, not just of that year, 2022, of the decade. I love Avatar as a franchise. So going into this, I had very high expectations. And I gotta say, off the bat, I think those expectations were met, but I do have a few issues with this movie. Going into this movie, I kind of figured, like, the highs of the second movie. The second movie, Avatar The Way of Water, I give that movie a 98 out of 100. I think that movie is beyond perfect. It's so amazing in visually, in storytelling, in action. Like, it's one of the best action movies ever made. And going into this, I knew that it wasn't going to live up to the hype of the second movie. There wasn't as much hype for this film. And just the reviews off the bat, like I think the Rotten Tomato score was like a 70%. So I was a little nervous, but I gotta say off the bat, I think this movie's fantastic. I love this film, and I'm a diehard Avatar fan. And I think if you like the Avatar movies, or you just want to see color, like in film, this is the movie for you. I've never seen so much color be used in film before. This movie, yes, I think sometimes it looks like a PS5 or PS15, like 15 years in the future. But man, oh man, it was just incredible seeing all the visual effects in this film and the world building. One of my favorite parts of the Avatar movies is the world building. And I gotta say, I know like one of the main criticisms with this film that a lot of people are having is that this feels like an Avatar Way of Water movie more than Fire and Ash. And that's because obviously James Cameron wanted this movie to be with Way of Water, and instead he made two separate films instead of, the same massive like 8-hour film. He made two separate movies. So yes, there is the Way of Water in this. There is the water people in this film. But I think that honestly makes this movie even better. And it focuses on both the ash people, the water people, and the earth, well, I guess, I don't know, the land Navi, all equally. Like I feel like they're all equal. The only one that I feel like isn't in this film a lot that they were marketing is the Wind Tribe. We only see them really for the intro, and that's about it. We don't really get a lot of the Wind people, but they're not really needed for the plot per se. So I think that criticism is totally unfair and unjust for this film. I think this film definitely carries when it has the fire people in this, because those are awesome contributes to this franchise. The Fire Navi are such an interesting group of Navi to be placed in here, because we've only ever had like really one main villain for this whole franchise, which is the uh, Quaritch. I forgot how to pronounce his name, but yeah, that guy. I'm just gonna call him Spider's father for now because I kind of forgot what his name is. But Spider's father, he's been the main villain of the whole franchise, and he's still the main villain of this film. But we get this like scary tribe of like Ash Navi, and they're brutal, man. One of my favorite parts of the movie is definitely the action scenes. Obviously, it's definitely not as grand as The Way of Water, let's say, but the action fight scenes are amazing, and some of them are right out of like a Star Wars battleship scene. That's what it reminded me of, like a Star Wars ship scene that would be in outer space with all the different ships going everywhere. But imagine that with a bunch of different banshees, a bunch of different creatures, a bunch of different Na'vi all fighting each other, fighting the sky people. It's truly just bizarre. Speaking of all the different like Na'vi and species, I really think that the inclusion of different species within this film is great. They definitely explored that the most in this film is the different species. We did get a little bit of that with I forget the name of the species, but like those whale type creatures in the water. We got a lot of that in The Way of the Water, but we got even more than that in this film. And I look at that as a positive. I know some people are not gonna like that. I think it's great. We get to explore those creatures. We get to explore the Banshee because we only ever really seen the Banshee when they're attached to the Na'vi. But in this film, the Banshee are kind of on their own as well, and I think that's great. There's also these new inclusions of creatures with like these like I forget what they said, but they said like it's bad luck creatures that are just terrifying. Like as like a human, because you gotta think we're rooting for the Na'vi, but the Na'vi are going against the humans. Not that like I feel like I would never be like a sky person. Like I would totally be on the like Na'vi side, you know. But what I'm saying is like when they're going against those people, like those like little like demon sea creatures, I was like, dude, this is terrifying. Like they're just like massive like octopus slash kraken crab creatures, which is crazy. I just really also love all the characters in this movie, even though I will say I think one of my biggest problems with this film is the dialogue. The dialogue isn't all that great. It's nothing fantastic, and that kind of leans into the acting a little bit, especially with Spider. I feel like Spider was kind of the weakest performance in this film, even though I love the character of Spider. Like what they do with Spider as a character in this film, and like he's kind of one of the main center points, I really think is really cool. But just there's just a lot of like scenes with him where the dialogue just doesn't come off right. A lot of bros, like there's so much bro, I can't do that. Bro, we gotta go back. My air pack's better. Bro, stay on me. Stay with me. Bro. Like, every teenage character in this film just says bro like they're in I don't even know. Like it's just there would be a massive casualty fight scene. Bro, get the airbag. I also love the character dynamic between Jake Sully and Spider's father, especially when they're kind of like I wouldn't say tag teaming, but they actually do have a point where they are kind of like teaming up to take down a greater threat or to solve a problem. And I think that's very unique because it shows that not all villains are like just your main villain or not like they're just not all bad. They're very complex. And I think the characters within this movie are extremely complex, and I really appreciate that. Now, this movie is 3.5 hours roughly, and I think that sometimes throughout this film you can definitely feel that runtime, and that definitely drags it down a little bit. It's only a few minutes longer than The Way of the Water, but you can definitely feel that runtime throughout this. Not saying that there's any moment that I really would say in particular that is slow. It's just you can start to feel it towards the end of the movie. Even though that final act is incredible, like the last like probably hour is just fantastic. You can start to feel it go like, all right, this is length. This is very lengthy because my movie started at 7:30 ish, and I got out of the theater at close to 11 o'clock. It was just a very lengthy movie. So going into my overall thoughts, here you go. As you can see, I very much enjoyed it. I think the weakest parts are definitely the acting and the plot. But this movie shines in its visuals. It's one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen. The Avatar movies never shine away from that. The soundtrack, the scores in this film is great. Like it really hits me. Like when there's an intense moment, the score in the background is just beautiful. I really like the intro. I like the ending. There's really no dull moments, so I enjoy every moment of this film. So I'm giving an overall score of a 91 out of 100. This movie is definitely in my top 10 of the year. I definitely would say out of ranking the Avatar movies, it would go The Way of the Water at a 98 out of 100, then probably the first Avatar at a 93 out of 100, and then this one at a 91 out of 100. So we're looking at like a very great trilogy here. Who knows if this trilogy will turn into a franchise and making it a fourth film? We don't know that for sure yet. That's not official because we need this movie to make a ton of money in order for it to, make bank. And before we close out this video today, I want to talk about obviously the big news about Avengers Doomsday because they did play a little snippet in here. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, even though I'm pretty sure everyone knows about it now. They're playing 4 different trailers, and I got to see the first trailer, which I gotta say, this trailer was nothing. Like, it was just a little snippet. And since I already knew what happened, nothing really big. I think they're trying to keep it like a secret, but obviously everyone knows about it. There's obviously the whole list. Everyone knows what the next 4 trailers are. And I think that having this as the first trailer compared to the other 4, which we know about. So I'm going to give you guys like 5 seconds. If you don't want to hear about this, skip to the outro. But I'm going to give you 5 seconds before I spoil it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So this trailer was obviously about Captain America, Steve Rogers returning. Second trailer is going to be Thor. Third's going to be Doctor Doom. And the fourth one's going to be the whole trailer or whatever. So I don't know. That was just a little something that I wanted to include in here. It was okay. Nothing grand, nothing spectacular, but I don't know. It's just kind of there, and they started the Avengers Doomsday Clock, but I don't know. Nothing grand. All right, so thank you so much for watching today's video. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts on Avatar Fire and Ash are. With all that being said, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure you like it. If you really like it, make sure you subscribe. And if you want to see future videos like this, make sure you ring that bell in the description down below. Please. And subscribe to Movie Nerd for Life. With all that being said, moving it out.